Long before stars illuminated the sky, and galaxies spun across the expanse, there was the primordial nexus. An ancient force, older than time itself, the nexus was not an entity of creation but one of transformation and harmony. For eons, it pulsed gently in the silent void, undisturbed by the swirling chaos that enveloped it. The cosmos, in its infancy, was a wild and unpredictable place, filled with energy that had no direction or purpose. It was the nexus that gave form to this raw energy, shaping it into the foundations of the universe as we know it today. Though it did not directly create stars, planets, or life, the nexus wove order into the chaotic tapestry of the cosmos. Its influence spread across vast distances, touching every corner of existence. Every star that flared into life, every planet that formed, and every spark of consciousness that emerged did so in response to the subtle rhythms of the primordial nexus. Unlike other forces that might impose their will on the cosmos, the nexus absorbed and harmonized with the chaotic energies around it, refining them into patterns of purpose and structure. This is the story of the primordial nexus, a force that, while hidden from the sight of mortal beings, silently shaped the cosmos into a realm of balance and order. In the beginning, the universe was a maelstrom of chaotic forces. There was no order, no structure, only the wild and untamed energy that filled every corner of existence. Time and space, as we now understand them, had not yet taken shape, and the concept of laws that governed the universe was still a distant possibility. The cosmos was a place of infinite potential but with no means to realize it. At the heart of this chaos was the primordial nexus, a point of stability and harmony amid the raging storm. Unlike the chaotic forces surrounding it, the nexus did not seek to dominate or overpower. Instead, it quietly absorbed the raw energy of the cosmos, breaking it down into its most fundamental elements. It was not a creator in the traditional sense but a transformer, a force that took the unrefined and unpredictable energy of the universe and gave it structure. The energy that flowed into the nexus was wild and uncontrollable, fragments of existence without meaning or purpose. Yet within the nexus, these fragments were woven into patterns that would later form the foundation of the universe. Galaxies coalesced from the chaos, stars ignited, and planets took shape. The primordial nexus was the silent architect of this grand design, giving rise to the laws that would govern the cosmos for eons to come. The work of the primordial nexus was not a singular event but an ongoing process that spanned the entirety of existence. As the universe continued to evolve, the nexus remained a constant, its gentle pulse guiding the flow of energy and shaping it into new forms. It did not merely refine the raw material of the cosmos, it wove it into an intricate tapestry of energy and matter. The patterns created by the nexus were not simple or linear. They were complex, spiraling threads of energy that intertwined with one another, creating a vast network of connections that spanned the universe. These threads formed the very fabric of reality, linking stars, planets, and life in ways that were both subtle and profound. Each thread was a potential pathway for the evolution of consciousness, a bridge between the material and the immaterial, the known and the unknown. The primordial nexus did not impose its will on these pathways. It allowed them to evolve naturally, shaping them only enough to maintain balance and harmony. It understood that the universe was a living entity, constantly growing and changing, and its role was to guide this process without disrupting it. The nexus was the heartbeat of the universe, the force that ensured that all things flowed in harmony. At the core of the nexus, waves of energy came and went, carrying with them the essence of existence. These waves were not just information, they were the raw material from which the universe was built. Each wave contained within it the potential for new stars, new worlds, and new forms of life. The nexus shaped this potential into something tangible, weaving the threads of energy into the tapestry of the cosmos. As the universe grew older, the patterns woven by the primordial nexus became more intricate and complex. What had once been a simple web of energy now spanned the entire cosmos, linking countless stars and planets in a delicate balance. The nexus continued its work, refining the chaotic forces of the universe and shaping them into something beautiful and purposeful. This process was not just about refining energy, it was about creating the laws that govern the cosmos. The primordial nexus was not just a transformer of chaos but the architect of cosmic order. Each thread of energy that it wove into the cosmic tapestry became a blueprint for how the universe would function. The movement of stars, the flow of time, the evolution of consciousness, all of these were shaped by the patterns created by the nexus. The threads of energy that flowed from the nexus were not static. They were constantly in motion, shifting and changing as the universe evolved. The nexus allowed for this change, understanding that the universe was a place of constant growth and transformation. It guided the flow of energy, ensuring that the balance of the cosmos was maintained while allowing for the emergence of new forms of existence. For eons, the primordial nexus maintained its delicate balance, ensuring that the universe remained in harmony. But the universe was not a place of static order. It was a place of constant change, where chaos and order existed in a delicate dance. Over time, disturbances began to appear in the patterns woven by the nexus. These disruptions were small at first, little more than ripples in the fabric of reality, but they grew stronger as time passed. The source of these disruptions was not immediately clear. The nexus absorbed the chaotic energy and continued its work, refining and shaping it as it always had. But as the disturbances grew more intense, it became apparent that something was changing. The chaotic forces that had once been easily shaped by the nexus were becoming more erratic, more difficult to control. The nexus continued to weave its patterns, but the disruptions became more frequent. The cosmic web, once strong and stable, began to fray at the edges. The threads of energy that connected the stars and planets were unraveling, threatening to tear the fabric of reality apart. Eventually, the nexus discovered the source of the disruption, a rift in the fabric of the universe itself. This rift, later known as the Dark Rift, was a tear in the cosmic web where the boundaries between dimensions had weakened. Through this tear, dark energy flowed into the universe, corrupting the patterns woven by the primordial nexus and threatening to undo the delicate balance it had maintained for eons. The Dark Rift was unlike anything the nexus had encountered before. It was not a simple disruption that could be easily repaired. The energy that flowed through the rift was fundamentally different from the chaos that the nexus had shaped for so long. It was a force of destruction, a corrosive energy that sought to unravel the cosmic web and return the universe to its primordial state of chaos. The nexus understood that it could not simply absorb and refine this dark energy as it had done with the chaotic forces of the universe. It would need to contain the rift before it spread further, tearing apart the very fabric of existence. To combat the Dark Rift, the primordial nexus began to focus all of its energy on sealing the tear. It worked tirelessly, drawing energy from the stars and planets it had helped shape and channeling it into the cosmic web. The nexus knew that it would be a difficult task, for the dark energy that flowed from the rift was constantly fighting against its influence, seeking to unravel the patterns of order it had created. The process was slow and grueling. The nexus used the very threads of the cosmic web to weave a seal around the rift, containing the dark energy and preventing it from spreading further. But the dark energy was powerful, and the seal was fragile. It required constant maintenance and reinforcement to ensure that it would hold. In the end, the nexus succeeded in containing the Dark Rift, but the victory came at a great cost. The energy required to maintain the seal weakened the nexus, draining it of much of its power. The once vibrant patterns of the cosmic web began to fade, and the flow of energy through the universe became less stable.